This is the minimum area, which is the majority of the person's body, and the shulchan, which is tefach. It's not enough to have the area. If you add up all the area, you have 7 by 7. It has to be 7 by 7 square. It's not sufficient. A very large sukkah. There's a chiddush. You have a very large sukkah, and you have one corner which is less than 7 by 7. No, which means you have a very large sukkah, and then it narrows in the corner. You know what I mean? It's interesting. It's part of the whole sukkah, right? I mean, what happens if a person comes to a sukkah and it's packed? It's overcrowded. And literally you got to push yourself in. So what? So you'd say, well, because it's tight, you're not yotzei. The answer is you're in the sukkah. As long as the person is not in a state of mitzvah, right? He's not mitzvah. So he's yotzei. So over here, it's not a sukkah because it doesn't meet the criteria of a sukkah, because it can't accommodate a person. But if this is part of a sukkah, it is a sukkah. This sukkah accommodates a person. Why is it different than being crowded into a sukkah? It's a chiddush. There's a bear aloch on this. We'll see in a moment. Lamalo. On a temporary basis, you could have, even with reeds, you're able to build the walls. So even if you secure it to establish it, as the Gemara says, you can have you can even have iron walls, because the shear is the dimension, not in the material that you use. Let's see the Mishnah. Let's see the Be'er Halacha. I Mishna Berura Succos Shema Mogen Avrom Dem Mokem Echad Yesh Keren. Vine Big De Yesha Big Kuri Yaakov Pik Bekum Od Al Rayos Bikitonis. Says the Big De Yesha Big Kuri Yaakov, the Orchman there. They question very much the proof that it brings from the case of Kitonia to Shani Hos Bikitonis Ched Bifnei Atzmo Mechitzim Avsekes Rak Shepasuach Nusuk Gedola. Okay, we'll see if we can do this. Okay, we're going to skip it. It's a big bear aloha. Further, Imi Agula. What about if you have a sukkah which is round? It doesn't have corners, but it's round. Mar discusses this. As long as you can put within that circle a sukkah of 7 by 7, it's not a problem. So you have to have walls, you have to have schach. You have to have areas. If you have an area of 7 by 7, it's not a problem. He says you don't have to sit within the square. Shiva al Shiva, Chut Asove Vesher Betisho Tvochim, Shnei Chumshim, Chamor Du. Nuchal Rabbi B'toch Shiva al Shiva, Joseph Chomei Zovios. Okay. Gimel. Now, Yesh Bo Shiva al Shiva, Nosebo Begodum Lenauso. Until now, we were speaking about if you have a sukkah 10 tvochim, remember? And we said that you hang decorations from the schach, and you minimize the height from floor to ceiling. You have less than 10. We said earlier it's valid if they're no sukkah, right? Because we see that as an enhancement, and the person doesn't feel put upon. If you have strands of schach coming down from the sukkah within 10, even if they don't provide more shade than the sun, that you're in an uncomfortable position. Since you need 10 in height, and you have the strands of schach coming right upon the person's head, it's called a dira suha. It's not a proper dira. Okay? So they were speaking the height. What about if the walls have tapestries on them? and you come into the sukkah now, so if you remove tapestries, you have an area of 7 by 7. But because the tapestries jutting out of the walls, this minimizes the minimum area of the sukkah. Is that considered? Do we apply the same principle? So Mechaber says, "Yesh bo shiva al shiva v'nosba begodim lenarosa matim osa b'shiva al shiva psula." Something else. There you can't fit into the sukkah, right? Minimally, you have to be able to fit into the sukkah. Rosha rubav shulchano. Before we're speaking about you put upon, the sukkah comes. The schach is right above your head. So since you see the decoration as an enhancement, that's not an infringement of your comfort, because it's being enhanced. But if factually you can't get into the sukkah, you need the minimum sukkah is the majority of your body, and you have to have a table which is a tefach. Factually, you can't get in there. So therefore, it's psula. Mishna Berura Succos, and he differentiates between the issue with the height versus the entry. Although we said that if you have a sukkah which is 10 and the decorations come within 10, it doesn't minimize the sukkah, it's still valid. But in terms of the walls on the sides, it doesn't help you. Factually, you're not able to get into the sukkah. Physically, you're not. The majority of your body can't be in the sukkah. Therefore, you're not yotzei. Okay. Now, the next halacha is machlokes b'sham b'seler, and this is one of the exceptions we ruva b'sham b'seler. Misha rosh ruva b'sukkah. You have a very large sukkah, and now, but you're sitting right, and you build a sukkah right outside your home, and you put your table in your dining room. So your table's in your dining room, and you're sitting in the sukkah, and you have a lot of space behind you. The question is, are you yotzei? We're talking rabbinically, not in the rice. Are you yotzei sukkah in such a manner? The dining room, your deck is right off your dining room. You build your sukkah. Your table with all the food is in the dining room, and you're sitting in the sukkah at the edge of the sukkah. But the sukkah behind you is 10 by 10 feet. So now you keep taking food off the table to eat, but you're eating. Now there's a concern, before you turn around, is a person usually gravitates to where the table is. So he's going to end up in the house. And that's a concern. Therefore, I want to say, since Odom is Moshel Al Shulchano, a person is drawn after where the table is, where the food is, there's a concern he's going to end up eating in the house rather than eating in the sukkah. So are we concerned about this or not? It's machlokes b'sham b'seler. Misha roshu b'sukkah v'shulchan chutz l'sukkah v'ochal ki'ilo lo ochal b'sukkah. Even though factually he's eating in the sukkah, it's like rabbinically, it's not valid. Afil sukkah gedola, even though the sukkah is a very large sukkah, he's sitting at the very edge, right at the entrance of the home. Zera shem yimosha hal hashulchano, because there's a concern he'll be drawn after where the food is, where the table is. Therefore, rabbinically, we say you're not yotzei. Famous pasuk Shoshone over here. Rabbeinu Yonah Tosus in the Sukkah, Rabbeinu Yonah Brachos. The Mishnah says in Brachos that a person should say Kriyishma before midnight. Because there's a concern, rabbinically, that a person tends to fall asleep, and if he delays it beyond midnight, he may not end up saying the Kriyishma. So the person's at the Mishnah tells over a story. Rabbi Leil's children, they were at a party, they came home late, and they shared with their father that he'd say Kriyishma. He says, well, if Amur HaShach, if dawn hasn't yet come, you still could say Kriyishma. You're obligated to say Kriyishma. So over there, the Rabbeinu Yonah says that if a person deliberately pushes it beyond midnight, which he violated a rabbinic law, because Chachamim were concerned, even if you say the Shema, you're not yotzei, Rabbeinu Yonah says. Because they penalize you, that they have the ability to invalidate the mitzvah. One second. Even if you say the Kriyishma, you're not yotzei Kriyishma. Other Rishonim argue. Meaning, you did the wrong thing. You did the mitzvah. So that's the question. Chazal, did they have the ability to approve a mitzvah, to invalidate it? Where the Torah recognizes their invalidation. Because they are empowered to legislate fences, different things. We discussed this. Right? We discussed the Rebbe, the Brisker Rov. By Chometz, the 6th hour versus the 7th, right? The 5th hour and the 6th hour. We spoke about this. Krishma. No, Krishma, three parshas. Not Krishma, evening. Krishma Shalarvis. Right, Krishma Shalarvis. I'm not sure. If people say, take your food, bring it in the sukkah.
This is exactly what we're...
No, here the person's continuously eating. This is the table he's eating on. It's not, you bring there's tables in the sukkah, you bring, the buffets in the house, you bring it into the sukkah. Here, actually, you're eating on this table. Rabbinically, because it says, because your person is drawn to where the table is. No, because everything is self-contained in the sukkah. Here he's... The shulchan is in the sukkah. Here the shulchan's in the house. Because, right, he's connected to the house, he'll gravitate towards where the shulchan is. Let's see, Mishay Rosh Rubo. In Nikta Shulchano Omid Besukkah Muksoso Tochabayis. He says, what about part of the table that extends into the sukkah and part of the table's in the house? Which the Gemara and the Shulchan Aruch is not talking about. Mutter is permitted. Lo gazrin b'zeh shem yimosh al shulchano, because here the shulchan is eating off of is in the sukkah, even though beyond that point it extends into the house. Avol im kol shulchano b'bayis. But if the entire table's in the house, afilu yoshev kula b'sukkah v'asukkah is a sukkah gedol la'oser. Rabbinically, you're not permitted. What? Because he wants to eat in the sukkah. He has to eat in the sukkah. It's a large sukkah. No. He has a buffet in the house. And the table has all the food on it. He sits at the entrance of the house and he's consuming the food in the sukkah. Well, not a little table. No, he doesn't have a table. It's not he's taking it off and he's eating. That's what Justin just spoke about. It's not you have a buffet, now you bring it in, you have a table in the sukkah, you eat it in the sukkah. He's eating, the table that he's eating off is in the house. No, when he puts it in his mouth, his body's in the sukkah. But the table he's eating off continuously is in the house.
So he's eating, he's standing up.
He's sitting down.
So let's say he's sitting down with a little table.
Because then he brings all the food on his little table, so he's eating on his little table. That's where he's eating. There's no problem. That's okay. He's sitting down. He's sitting with a chair right at the entrance of his house. He has no table. The table's in the house. The table's in the house. Which table's he eating on?
There has to be a table.
Let's say he takes all the food and puts it on his lap. He disconnects from the table. He takes his portion, goes in the sukkah, and he sits on it and he puts it on his lap. He's sitting on a chair, puts it on his lap. It's not a shayla. And everybody's, and you take...
They go in to take them, and presumably they go back to the sukkah to eat.
No, that's not a problem. No, that's not a problem, because you're not eating. Because they're the table, you're not eating on the table. When you eat, you're eating on a table. That's the source, that's where you're taking the food from. Here you're actually eating on the table. Yeah, because you're eating on the table. You're eating on the table that you normally eat on the table. You moshech, no, you may be drawn. You may be drawn. No, because that's where you're eating. You're actually eating on the table. You sit by a table. And you always have to make sure to put it in your mouth because your head is aligned with the schach. But where's your table? Your table is in the house. But which table are you sitting at? It's like you're sitting at a regular table. It comes out interesting. Very often, sometimes they build sukkahs where we have an overhang, so the women, they sit in the area where you have the overhang, and the men sit in the kosher part of the sukkah. But let's say a person would sit near that, let's say you have tables along the perimeter of the sukkah, and the tables are under the overhang. And you're sitting and eating off that table. It's not in the house. You're not. It's the same problem, right? Maybe not. Maybe it's, no. The overhang is more than 4 tefachim. It's more than 4, right? So therefore, the schach, you're not yotze. 100% you're not yotze there. It's not in the sukkah. That's not the sukkah.
I mean, it's not in the house. It's very different.
What difference make a house? That's called house. This is house. It's all the same. All right? You have the tables along the walls of the sukkah, and where the walls are, something extends over the walls, over the ceiling. Right? Could be a yes, could be not. What's the reason? We have the principle no plug. You can't be nimshachach shulchan over there, right? Because the table extends from the wall. So if you sit on the table, in the case where the table's in the house, you may go into the house. You'll end up going and eating on the table in the house. Here you can't. I mean, as close as you get to the table, you're still in the sukkah, right? The table happens to be in the house. Or do we say, that's called in the house? That's called in a location which is not valid. Maybe this could be a low plug. We don't differentiate. Once you allow a person to eat on the table, where the table's in the location where you can't be yotze, that's part of the fence. You cannot eat. You may be drawn after your table, even though factually, this is a situation for technical reasons you're not able to.
But the two cases don't really equate, because when you have the table underneath the wall, but from al-Qul it's underneath the wall, it's within the sukkah, but underneath the wall.
No, it's not.
It's within the sukkah, it's just like over the
not within the sukkah. No, it's not within the sukkah.
It's under the wall of the sukkah.
So that's not within the sukkah. It's not within the sukkah.
If you're sitting there with the table is under the overhang, and you might lean over the table and eat, then you can go outside the sukkah. Then you have
No, the majority body can't be over the table. The majority. Rosh Rubo Shulchano. Rubo's still going to be in the sukkah.
Yeah.
Right? Not sure. Just let's finish this off. I feel the sukkah gedolah. Chaber says even if it's a very large sukkah, if you have your table in the house and you're eating at the edge of the sukkah, Shloma Koshkim Hikatano Shen Marzek Srak Rosh Rubo. Definitely, let's say it's only at the area only suffices to accommodate his body. V'shulchano hoyim toch habayis. The zeh bevadi shayach lo m'shem yivshachach l'shulchano. Cave davokum tzar b'sukkah. It's really cramped. The sukkah is very small, just minimal area. The gam hard poskim sovrim the b'zeinu yotzim in Torah lavdiri klau. Right. What we're speaking about is rabbinical. It's a large sukkah. There's a gzeira, he may end up in the house. But let's say it's cramped. It's minimal, and he has a sukkah in the house. He says, the table in the house. So, I mean, it's a double pashut. I mean, I don't know why it should not be possible. It's not 7 by 7, right? Because 7 by 7 is Roshel, Rubo, Bishulchano, where the shulchan's a tefach. So if it doesn't, you don't have shulchano, that means it's really less than 7 by 7. Why? The came down Moksar, Gam Hari Poskim Sovim Zainu Yotzim in Atorah Klau. Shein Marzekes Rak Roshu Rubo Vishulchano Hoyim Sochabayis. That means it's not really 7 by 7. Ach Shulchano Misheshlo Sukkah Besoder Somach Lebezo. Going back before, a person lives in a village. Also Lotzi Mi Beso La Sukkah Der Kusharam Makarmlis. Double Pashut. Geen shnei sukkahs b'chotzer echot shlo ervu v'chatzer so osel taltu b'zul lezer ay deyakum mutu ir on Shabbos.
The truth is, 7 by 7 sukkah you're reading on a tray.
On a tray, 100%.
Those all 2 trays.
Or smaller. It's a tefach, 4 inches. You have an airline now, discounted. No frills. You bring your own food, and even the table comes out as only 4 inches. Okay.